smart fool. I never know how smart Jacob was until now. Look, oh boy, this to tell the truth.
You gotta give me a minute. I gotta take a bathroom break.
Hey, servant of God, what's going
Yeah.
down, my brother?
Oh man, nothing to it, bro. You know, just chilling. Sunday night. Sunday night here. You know, I don't watch football anymore. None of that stuff.
Well, I lost interest in that myself. I used to love that a long time ago, and it got too insignificant over time.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about preserving the vital life?
Yeah. I've been definitely looking into it, man, and I think it's what a man like I think it's literally all a man has, right? Like you remember in Scarface, Tony says, "All I got is my balls and my word," and it's like, well, yeah, that's all you got as a man, right? And it's that's your power. That's your power. You know, your semen. And as a man, I do believe in how the Bible pretty much points to where the only time you're going to release it is inside your wife, and that's to reproduce. You
Yes,
know,
the crazy part, Christianity attempts to teach us that, but Christianity fails to tell us why that we're doing it. It tells us
right?
about chastity and
So why is it
virginity for marriage.
that only Abrahamic religions talk about chastity?
They don't. There's more than that. There's the fucking
Yeah,
Ayurvedic shit. There's the fucking dark colored Negroes in India. What you would
No, I'm
call them?
saying most of the Indian religions like practice Kama Sutra, and they're very much sex energy oriented as well. I don't think that I think most Abrahamic religions are very prude and European.
Well, allegedly, that was the whole. That's the whole story about that when the Romans
No, I'd blame it
raided.
on yeah. I was gonna say I'd blame it on the Romans. I think
The
that's where
last
it
time
started.
the last time the Romans raided the Jewish temple, and they were fucking. They
Because think
said that
about because think about the Greek gods. They were out having sex with everything, and most of the time they were cheating on their wives and having sex with humans. And yeah, the Greek gods were
But
sleeping with everything.
that's what they said. That's the whole thing, dude. I'm gonna say, Bobby straight, dude. The
So
whole
I'm
thing
saying,
was
so if the chastity side was all created by the Romans when they took over
no,
Christianity and made it
no,
for the people, then why are we saying that that's what the word
no,
is?
dude. The
Because
the when
the Egyptians were sex based, the Indians were sex based. We're talking about civilizations that are way older than Christianity.
it's about keeping the fire burning without having the animalistic orgasm. It's allegedly. I don't know, dude. I think there's something to it. I I wish I would have known about it earlier, but as how I grew up and my experience, I believe there's something to it. And the story is that the Romans raided the Jewish temple and they found the Jews uh worshiping two angels engaged in a coitus. And they said, "Why the fuck is you worshiping this?" But they were controlling the fire, but not blowing the load.
That was my least favorite story from the Old Testament is when was it Lot puts up his daughters to be raped over the angels, and then God considers him a good person for that.
So no, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, right. Listen, look, Jacob's
Like
smart, dude.
my least favorite story in the Bible. It's like, yeah, sorry, I'm never gonna put that much faith in God where I'm gonna let somebody in my family get raped over some shit I know he should have the power over and should be able to stop.
Hey, look,
Like, I'm
hey,
sorry,
Jacob,
I'm not gonna give that kind of blind faith over my family, over God.
Jacob, my AKs.
That's not a God that would want. That's not the kind of God that I could
Hey,
worship.
Jacob, listen, I got multiple AKs. I got multiple clips loaded. You understand? Look, I feel you, my brother.
Yeah, but
Do you think that's the
we're talking
same?
about angels. We're talking about some angels. Like you think God can't regulate his angels so they don't get hurt?
Do you think
This
that's the
Maleficent
same
being-
God?
I never
You
knew
think
how
that-
smart, dude. Jacob, I have a new appreciation of your intelligence.
No,
Good
what
night.
what were you saying, servant? I couldn't hear you.
Do you think that's the same God who told Abraham to kill his son?
No, I think Yahweh, I think Big G, Little G, I think they're all a little bit different. I think we're talking about, I think, and this fits my theory of why I don't think it's one maleficent being. The majority of people, when you're or beings that you're talking about in the Bible, they act like they're making a mistake when they say something like they have to answer to somebody else. And I don't I think there's a lot of what we would call demigods, and they're answering to somebody else. But I haven't figured out who the almighty capital G is.
There is no almighty capital G. That's fucking
There
gay.
is in the
No,
story because of the way
It
that
doesn't
people
start.
call
It's not a G, and that's not a G.
I mean, I'm just using the moniker to fit.
Oh, I'm just fucking look.
It's like the universe wrapped into one.
Yeah, because
Every-
otherwise it's like do other universes have a Jesus? Do they have a Messiah that gave its life for them in other universes? Because I do believe there's a possibility for life elsewhere, or did they just not have the experience of having God because they grew up in a different universe? Like how mighty is God?
It's impossible to put. It's impossible to put into words, but yes, they do. The God is there, but we can't put it into words. If we experience it personally, there's no words to describe it, dude. Like,
No, I mean, God can mean whatever you want it to mean to you. That's what makes religion so good. Is it so encompassing where it doesn't have to be measured by attendance or if you're believing in God the right way. That's why I say I don't think all sins are created equal. I believe in a higher power, but I believe
we can talk about what we have seen. We can talk about what we see. We can talk about how we see it right now. As me and you, you're a man, I'm a man. Like you're on camera, so you have more respect than me because you're on camera right now. Look, but I have experiences. You've had experiences. You've exhibited your intelligence, and I respect you for that more than I ever did before tonight. And there's shit out there that we cannot explain. And it's becoming more prolific and across every set of fucking news media, and it's just ramping up.
Yeah. I think media is meant to keep you thinking about the next disaster. They just want you worried all the time.
Well, I mean, yeah, I have people fighting against me the whole time.
You got people fighting you, you said?
Yes,
Fighting you, why?
because I dedicated my life to the truth. I was interested in the truth basically as long as I remember, I was interested in the truth, and I sought the truth, and I was blessed by the Almighty to tell me what was what a long time ago, so I didn't follow certain paths.
So what would you say is the truth? Because that's what we're all here for. So what is the truth?
The truth is that's a great question. The truth is that most of what we've been taught in history is a fucking lie. The truth is and the truth is that astrology is real. The truth is that we've lived before, we've died before, and if you're lucky, you might live again. But the truth is that time is running out. The truth is time is running out.
Let me ask you this. You just said the truth is we've lived before, we've died before. how can you state that as the truth?
Because I have lived before and I fucking died before, and that's
Okay,
the
and how do
truth.
you, and can you get into detail as far as that
Because
goes?
because I have lived and died, and I know I've lived and died, and I'm still alive. Dude.
Right, I'm saying you got to remember, brother, if somebody hasn't experienced what you have, you do have to explain it in layman's terms. You do have
I
to
Yes,
meet
I can
people
explain it.
how,
halfway.
how can I explain to you
I
how
can
I've
explain it for
seen?
you. I can
Because
explain
this
it
is what
for
I'm.
you.
Okay, go ahead, brother. I'm listening.
I believe in past lives, and I believe in
Mhm.
reincarnation, and I believe when what people describe as heaven or Shambhala or whatever kind of ascension you're into. I think they're all describing the same thing, and it's the we're doomed to repeat this until we get it right, and I think we see it in kids. I think in psychology you can find this specifically in children, and it's usually before the age of like 6, where they talk about their past lives. That they can be so accurate of talking about where they died, how they died, and when you fact check them on some of this stuff, it's actually pretty accurate. But
Uh,
past lives are very interesting, and I started making this connection when I was talking to somebody about near death experiences, because
Uh,
I also think that that's a huge DMT dump, because your body naturally creates DMT, and people talk about you see your whole life flash before your eyes, and it's almost like a big trip that just happens all at once, and it reminds me of no other drug besides DMT. And I think this illusion of life that we have, I think, yeah, we're doomed to repeat it, and you can get it as a human, you could be reincarnated as an animal, but yeah, I think there's evidence to show that humans at young ages are perceptive to their their past lives, even if it's only
100%.
for a
The
short period.
Bible also backs up what he just said.
yeah. Now here's the thing. I was gonna get in touch with Mud Rabbit and have her come over to my channel to get in more depth. Because she has spoken on reincarnation and pretty much the way you're talking as far as coming back until you get it right. Um, Now, the thing I really wanted to ask her is it's almost like, so for instance, when you tell me about the kids, right? And I've saw that where they give their testimony on who they were in a past life. Um, Mud Rabbit has obviously, she shared her experience with me. I love talking to her, by the way, man. She's so insightful. Um,
Yes.
very, very insightful, very wise, very spiritual. And so, and anywho, I wanted to get her
So,
on my
so
show, and
what?
I
So what's
go ahead,
what?
brother.
So what's your channel and stuff? Okay, give me some
My
plugs.
yeah, my channel is just called God's Servant. I might change it to something else, but it's just
Do you
called God.
go? Did you meet Mud Rabbit over at like Propagate This Light or
Yes,
any of
yes,
her other channels?
that propagate. Yep.
Okay.
And so
Propagate
was
stopped over here a couple times now too. He's a nice guy.
yeah. I've so I watched a little bit of your live. It was from a long ago. You had Propgate, you had Mud Rabbit, and you had Simon Hectic. And I
Yeah,
laughed when I saw Simon Hectic because I've been on his channel, but he's funny, bro. He's a English guy. But
you'll see some of the people, and you'll be able to pick them out, like because I don't usually leave my lives up that much. Um, I try to pick stuff out of them and just let people see it live, because I don't advertise my channel or anything. It's just
yeah,
good conversations with people. I'm similar to you. I don't look for anything out of the conversation besides just good conversation. I like hearing people's input on things. Um,
mm,
and I'm usually open to talk to anybody, whether it's politics, religion, all the topics people don't really want to talk about that much. Um, but yeah, it's a good time over here. I think you'd like it. But yeah, Simon and a couple other people, and I hate to pigeonhole Simon like this, but there's some people that are just surface level intellectuals, where depending on what time of the day you catch them at, and how many drinks they're in or whatever. That you can tell they're just kind of trying to keep the conversation rolling, and they'll
Right,
just
right.
they'll just say some wild stuff just to kind of keep the conversation rolling, and yeah. So you do see a lot of that on my channel. Not everybody on my channel is like that.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows. But yeah, Simon's a good guy, and you'll see this other guy that comes by every once in a while, Jimmy Rizzo. I don't know if you met him. Solo
Oh
knows.
no, never heard of them. But did you have a Brandon Looney Tunes on the other day?
Yeah, I've had
Yeah,
Brandon on a few times.
yeah, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Brandon. I know him.
I
Um,
have,
he
someone's got to start looking out for Brandon a little bit better. He's got some trolls after him right now, and I was trying to explain to him what was going on, just because I have a lot of people that have Asperger's or autism that come on my channel, and they'll talk to me, and they're just regular guests, and I can tell when somebody's getting taken advantage of. And he had some trolls that they're trying to get him to like take off his shirt and shadow box and stuff on the internet, and it's not good. Like, I'm a mixed martial arts coach, and I can tell when somebody's just doing something to goof on somebody, especially when it comes to like striking and stuff like that. I don't know. I can
yeah. So
tell.
that I know the channel you're talking about in particular, and I mean I know what goes on there and stuff. And so yeah, I remember actually it was 3 weeks. So it's funny, you guys haven't seen like my other side. And I you know, with the saying one in Rome, do as the Romans, but I like the one as far as iron sharpens iron. And I like you gotta when I talk to Mud Rabbit, I am like a child. Like I'm just I am so like I just keep my mouth shut and I'm just listening. But to me, when I'm around respectful people, that I'm gonna like it's like, oh my, I'm gonna be so humble around you. But those guys in particular that you're referring to, you I don't think you'll ever see that side of me. But I remember 3 weeks ago yelling on there, and I said you guys are taking advantage of him, and everybody's just laughing, right? But the one guy in particular, he's an old fella. He's on his deathbed actually, uh, and it's been about a year where he pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't want to really put it on him, but he is giving Brandon a hard time. But you know, I try and keep everybody accountable, and the problem is they don't have any rules over there. So they say,
No,
well, yeah,
I've dealt with communities like that. Like
yeah,
I've dealt with like, and when I say dealt with, it just means I've come in contact with plenty of community. Like everybody seems to know Cyrex. Cyrex is a popular name on the internet. Everybody knows who Cyrex is, right? The
I've heard
the
that
chance
name. I feel
the chance guy that was a big lol cow on the internet for a long time. Well, he had a guy by the name of Marty who used to follow him around. It was Music Biz Marty, and that was like his number one troll. I ran across him a couple times, and I met a few other trolling communities. Like I've been around them. Like I said, I only kind of get involved with some of the drama when it involves somebody that I've had on my channel before or something like that. But I've seen to meet all of the different types of communities. Um, and yeah, there's some people that are pretty committed to the trolling, but yeah, I don't know. It's silly. I try to look out for people that can't look out for themselves a little too much, and it gets me down some weird paths.
yeah. I wanted to ask you. You said you're an MMA coach.
Yeah,
So what do you mostly specialize in? Which martial art?
grappling.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I do jujitsu too.
Okay.
I
Well,
do
when you okay,
jujitsu, judo. I was in wrestling. I was in three different styles of wrestling for 21 years.
oh nice, man.
Yeah,
You won state at all or no?
yeah. I've been to state, been to nationals, been to team nationals, and that's in freestyle, Greco, and folk style wrestling.
Oh yeah, no, that's real good, man. Yeah. I love wrestling. I grew up wrestling too. My brother was a little bit better. He he's the national guy and all of that stuff. But yeah, wrestling, man. It's such a beautiful sport. I'm more into boxing, but wrestling, it's just beautiful. I'm not too much into BJJ, but I just like wrestling a lot, man. I in grade school, I used to. None of my friends liked me, man, because it's like I would grab them, throw them to the ground, right, and they'd always be like, "Man, get off of me, right?" It's always they're like, "I hate this guy." I was actually the school I went to. It was a real small school, and I was a big guy. I was around 210, 215, and they didn't have any guy to wrestle me. And I went to my first meet, my first wrestling meet with no training because nobody could train with me. My brother was the second biggest guy.
How old were you? How old were you at 210, 215?
I would have been 17 at that time. I played
Damn.
football. I played football. I was really good in football, but I couldn't really compete in wrestling because. So it's funny, they put me against the best guy in Ontario right away. My first match, and I had no training. All I did was show up to practice and run like everybody else, but I couldn't grapple with nobody. And it's like I said, it's not for me. Oh, sorry. So the second guy, I got disqualified for putting him in a headlock and judo tossing him. I didn't know. They're like, you can't put him in a headlock. And I said, all right, whatever. So. But yeah, wrestling's fun, man. Wrestling's real fun, man.
Wrestling, would it help me? Because I had never done jiu-jitsu before. I just grew up doing wrestling. And then I signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament and realized that all jiu-jitsu is like, if you learn how to hold people down in wrestling, then they can't do anything. You just got to learn how to choke them after that. So it's most of the wrestling moves that I do are just wrestling moves that I turned into jiu-jitsu moves. That's how I finish people now. And that's why I say I call myself a grappling coach, because I'm not really a jiu-jitsu coach, but I can grapple with a regular black belt or a blue belt from most jiu-jitsu gyms and keep up with them pretty well. It's interesting. The only thing that I had to learn from wrestling was to like slow down, because wrestling is very fast paced and jiu-jitsu is very like slower and dragging things out and controlling your breath a little bit more, never getting into a panic. And wrestling is all about scrambling and being really fast. But once you figure it out, it's pretty easy. Judo is cool because it's just throws like wrestling. So I teach judo because it's just wrestling throws basically. But
Jacob, how old are you, Jacob?
I just turned 34. No, I just turned 35 the other day.
I'm almost 50 fucking years old, dude. Like I used to love wrestling and shit. When you get older, wrestling isn't as appealing.
Oh no, I still love it.
But I mean, it's good to know. It's good to know. You need to know how to you need to know this shit, right? But
one of my bosses just passed away the other day. A guy I worked for years and years, and he was I think 83 when he passed away. And to the day he passed away, he would always show up at the gym random days. He'd just show up with shorts on and be like, "All right, I want to wrestle today." Just 83 years old. Just
would you take it easy on him? Would you take it easy on him?
What's that? He didn't take it easy on us. No way. that old man will hurt you.
Well, like, oh shit, man! As your body gets old, you just have so many fucking pains and fucking shit.
Oh yeah, comes with the territory.
Yeah. So that's like your full-time gig there. You coach people how to wrestle and whatnot, and grapple.
I own a landscaping company. I do landscaping most of the year, and then I'm also do subcontracting. I own like 3 businesses, but the mixed martial arts one's kind of just a hobby, kind of like YouTube. YouTube and mixed martial arts are kind of just a hobby to keep myself busy.
I'm gonna tell you what I've noticed, bro. Sorry, I'm not cutting you off. I'm just going with what you're saying. That when I once upon a time, and I don't really say on the internet what I do, because just you get so much weirdo trolls that keep clipping. But anyways, when I was doing like the same place 5 days a week, 8 hours, it's like you know eventually like it turns into an issue with certain people. But it's like now the way I have it set up is like 6 days a week, 6 different places, I'd say it's at least 3 different jobs that I do. 3 different, and it's so much funner, man. It's like, it's like, it really feels like you're not working. You're doing something new every day. And I like, yeah.
Servant of God. Let me ask you, how old are you, servant of God?
I'm 30.
You're young.
You're not 30. You sound way older than 30.
Well, I get that all the time on here. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the mic. But
you're a fat fucking dumbass.
Are you from Boston?
Go on a diet, bitch. What the fuck?
Are you from Boston?
No.
Are you from Jersey or Boston?
No, Canadian.
Oh, damn. Look, go on a diet, fool. Man, fucking. Let me tuck your leg.
No, what I do is I strength train, right? Like I do strength training. My diet's okay for the most part. Like I get a lot of my stuff from Costco.
So why do you think you're so overweight? Because you're a fucking pussy, or because like it's a mental problem?
Overweight? You don't know how much I weigh.
You just said you're fat as fuck, right? Was I right? Did I misinterpret that shit?
I'm pretty certain you misheard it.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Oh, you're a giant and shit, boy. Look.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're doing weight training and stuff like that, you're probably taking care of yourself.
You got like hit people from far away, dude. Like you put 620 pounds on a fool from like far away. That's good.
I mean, I'm not. When I go in the street, I don't really look for trouble or anything like that. I don't look fine. I don't look to fight anyone.
Don't need to look for trouble. Trouble can find you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, trouble could, but I try and be as humble as I can. It's like Jacob said earlier. He said you always find a guy that'll kick your ass, and it happens, right? There's always a guy that's got an up number on you, man.
Yeah, but that's all fucking. That's statistics. That's statistics. How common? That's very rare. That's rarity.
It's not rare because that humble that he's talking about too.
No,
it makes a difference on how you carry yourself. You'd be surprised if you have a little bit of humility, how much less often you get into fights. Because I guarantee before I was trained, I probably carried myself different. I probably came off more aggressive than I probably should have been. Like you'll just carry yourself different, so you'll find yourself getting in less fights.
Well,
your average 100%. Black belt isn't getting jumped by as many people.
I'm 10,000. Look, you're 100%. I'm 100 million times more deadly than I've ever been, and I'm not trying to start shooting nobody. People fuck with me. Look, you fucking dead motherfucker. Look. I'm not gonna fight nobody. You understand? Look, I'm not trying to fight nobody. You fuck with me, nigga, you're dead.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, obviously you got to protect yourself. Somebody comes looking for trouble, right?
And look, that's how it is. Like, but because of what's happened to me, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. I'm chilling till I ain't chilling.
What do you think of? Let me ask you this. What do you think of, for instance, Stoic philosophy? You ever look into that, Solo?
Yeah, Stoicism.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm not familiar with the principles.
It's ancient Greek philosophy. That's Stoicism.
Well, I basically think, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. And but people, there's borders, there's borderlines, and people are testing my borderlines. Very recently, they've tested me to the absolute fucking core, right? To where the fuck I couldn't kill them, but they fucking, that's how they did this shit. Like, but if they was to come one fucking foot across the line, they'd have done been dead.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a weird equation, and because I dedicated my life to the truth, so people hate me for dedicating my life to the truth. And that's the path I chose to speak the truth. I knew the repercussions of choosing the path to speak the truth. That's the path I chose. So I already know, people ain't gonna like me for telling the truth.
And what truth is that, sir?
Oh, well, that's it. That's it.